Hi everyone, this is Pamela here for TransbyDef. Today I'd like to talk to you about choosing a gatekeeper or a therapist, and I think there's a few differences from America as to Australia, because we have two models of care here in Queensland, which is the state of Australia. That's the gatekeeper model, which is the traditional model, which is you do exactly what the doctor says, and you get regular blood tests, and they monitor your levels and things like that. As far as the initial diagnosis is concerned, you need to see a psychiatrist to get a diagnosis for gender dysphoria. It's not necessarily a gatekeeper model. There's for the psychiatrist necessarily, because it's not their job to decide if you should get hormones or not, but the fact that you have gender dysphoria is the only criteria for that model. Whether they are impartial or not is another thing, I suppose. There's the other model, which is the non-gatekeeper model. I can't remember what it's called, but in that model you have to sign a waiver, and the doctor position is only to monitor your condition and to advise you, whereas the person in charge of your health in that case would be you, and you have to sign a form saying that the doctor if you're going to self-medicate under care of a doctor, then you have to sign a waiver so that they can't be sued for that. So because if you self-care, then you're answerable to no medical professional, so there can't be a negligence claim of any kind. So yeah, legally speaking, there's the traditional gatekeeper model is probably the better one necessarily for some people, because you are covered by medical insurance, whereas the self-care and do what you want type thing doesn't have that. And luckily enough, you can intermingle the two if you so desire. It's just about keeping up I had to talk to someone about the other day. It's about keeping the line. You're allowed to self-medicate up to a certain point, as long as you maintain the official line, so that you don't breach the. So you will get you've got the gatekeeper model, so you've got protection and insurance and stuff, but you can also at some point, within a variable amount of degrees, self-medicate as well. I personally I have the gatekeeper model doctor, and she's very experienced. I think she's the most experienced in this state. There are in Melbourne, in Victoria, the state of Victoria, there's I think it's the Monash Gender Clinic, and that's the most comprehensive system that you basically enter it into it, and they have therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists and doctors and the whole gamut of people, and you go in and you come out with with an operation, and after that, and the only problem with that is that the doctors that through the Monash system actually don't have enough experience in the SRS operation, and their abilities aren't as good as so. It's often recommended that you go to Thailand, because the doctors there are way more. The techniques they use are more a better technique. The technique they use in Australia is behind the times. I'm sure in America they've got the best, but not in Australia. So in that case, like the self-care models are sort of have to be applied, because there really isn't enough experienced doctors for the surgery at least, and in some cases mainly for, I mean, my particular doctor is very experienced, but not everyone has this, and as far as I know, there's only 2 gender doctors in Queensland, only 2. One has the Gatekeeper model and the other one has the self-care model, if you so choose. So I won't mention their names right here, but yeah, so and they're on opposite sides of the city too, so interestingly. Yeah, so that's what I think about that kind of stuff. I mean, as far as success and having a good doctor, that's, I think, my opinion in that is that that's a secondary issue. The biggest issue in transition is obviously age. Age is a major factor in your successes in transition. I mean, it's not a definitive factor, but it is a major factor. Most people who are successful as transsexuals start when they're at least 12 or whenever they can be availably made to them. In this country, you have to take hormone blockers until you're 16, and then you can get estrogen. So that's acceptable at the moment for us as transsexuals and transgender people. So that's a full gambit of things. I must admit, it seems like success in Australia does not depend on your doctor. I think that's due to lack of experience in this country with people with gender dysphoria generally, and the condition transsexualism, or whatever you wish to call it. But yeah, so that's what I've got to say on that, and I hope everyone finds that informative, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. See you later. Bye. Merry Christmas.